Once upon a time, in a town called Shogunle, lived a woman named Idara. Idara was one of the most beautiful women in Shogunle town. She had the perfect shape of an hourglass and skin like butter. All the women in Shogunle town envied her beauty. Idara was married to one of the richest men in Shogunle named Lekon. Before Lekon came along, Idara refused advances from all her poor suitors as she wanted a man that could take care of her and maintain her beauty. Idara and Lekon lived in a cozy house surrounded by beautiful flowers and trees. They were so happy together, but there was one thing Idara didn't want: to have a baby. It wasn't because she didn't like children, but because she was afraid of how childbearing might change her perfect body. She adored the way she looked and she didn't want anything to change it. Because Lekon loved and adored Idara, he accepted her choices. But as time went on, the weight of childlessness began to tell on him. Lekon wanted to have children. He loved and adored children and had always dreamt of having children of his own someday. He thought children would make their family complete. He loved Idara so much that he respected her wish not to have children, at least yet, he thought. But unknown to him, Idara didn't want to have children, not now, not ever. Isn't it strange for a woman to say she doesn't want children? I don't understand it, Lekon said to Idara one day. Make it make sense. It is because you won't be the one to go through the stress and body change. And once I lose my beauty, you'll be the first to run into the arms of another woman, Idara said angrily and walked away. Lekon stood in shock and wondering the woman he married. In all his life, he had never heard of a woman who didn't want children. If for anything, every woman prays to be a mother someday. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Lekon kept trying to talk to Idara about this issue. She couldn't bring herself to agree. Whenever they had the conversation, it always ended in a very big fight between them. Their friends and neighbors couldn't understand why Idara didn't want children. They all thought it was strange for a woman not to want to be a mother. But Idara didn't care what others thought. She was determined to stick to her decision. She couldn't risk losing her beauty to motherhood. It was already 5 years into their marriage, and as time went by, Lekon grew more and more frustrated. He wanted to be a father, and he couldn't understand why Idara couldn't give him a chance. He tried to be patient with her, but deep down, he felt like something was missing from their marriage. One day, while Lekon was looking for something in their bedroom, he found some family planning kits and he was in total rage. Idara had gone ahead to use the family planning kit without even informing him. Was that the length she could go? No wonder she didn't even get pregnant by mistake. Because he knew his family lineage was very fertile. Idara, Lekon screamed her name. When she rushed into the room, Lekon was so furious at her. "What is this?" he said, holding the pack to Idara. Idara was in shock because she didn't think Lekon would ever find it. "But how did you find it? What were you looking for?" Idara said. "Are you being serious right now, Idara?" Lekon shouted. "You're more concerned about how I found it rather than what you have done with it. You used a family planning kit without informing me. Is that how little I mean to you? I have a right in this too, you know. I want children, and you cannot take the decision from me," Lekon shouted. "Well, if you want children so bad, why don't you have them yourself and stop disturbing me? I told you about my decision before we got married, and you agreed. I don't understand why you're making an issue now," Idara said. "That was because I didn't think you wouldn't want to have children at all," Lekon shouted. They kept arguing until Lekon walked out angrily. The family planning became a big issue for Lekon and Idara, as they were always at loggerheads because of the decision she made. Lekon had to reach out to her family, as he couldn't seem to make her see reason. The next day, as Idara was preparing to go out, her parents rushed into their house in anger. "This is not how I raised you," her father said. "How can you take a decision on your own without informing your husband? And why in God's name will you decide not to have children?" Her father screamed at her. "If I didn't make a sacrifice to give birth to you, will you be standing here now and talking nonsense?" her mother shouted at her too. Idara stood, arms crossed, and looking at them with a frown on her face. "That is my decision to make. I am an adult and I don't want children, and that's on period," she said and walked away. As days passed, she longed for the peace and joy between her and Lekon. So she decided to at least discontinue the family planning procedure just to make Lekon happy. Few months later, Idara fell ill, and when she ran a test, she realized that she was pregnant. She was so bitter and angry, she had been trying other local pregnancy prevention methods that she thought would work. "I can't keep this baby. I can't. I don't want it," she kept muttering to herself. Idara took a very drastic and wicked decision. Secretly, without even letting her husband know, she took out the baby. When she got home, she lay down to rest after the ordeal she had been through. While she was sleeping, Lekon came back home and found her in a pool of her own blood. He was so scared, he rushed her to the hospital immediately. When he got there, it was there he realized what his wife had done. She took out the one thing he had ever wanted, their child. This was the height of it. He didn't think that he would ever forgive her for killing their child. As weeks turned into months, Lekon and Idara lived like strangers under the same roof. Few months later, Lekon went to the neighboring village to clear his goods from their border. There he met Funbi, a beautiful woman. And the best part was that she was kind and soft-spoken. She helped him out when he had issues with clearing his items from their border, and they became fast friends. Lekon began to go to the neighboring village more frequently, and he got to know Funbi well. Funbi shared his desire to have children. She was kind and caring and virtuous. She didn't care if her body changed because of pregnancy. Lekon found himself drawn to her, and before long, he realized that he had feelings for her. "But you are married, Lekon," Funbi said when Lekon asked her to be his wife. "I can't do that to a fellow woman. But I've told you everything. We do not want the same things. I have also fallen out of love for her. I've realized that what I loved was a perception of her outward grace and beauty, not the real her. She killed our child, and I don't think I can ever forgive her for that," Lekon pleaded. "Well, you have to do what's right first," Funbi said. Idara knew that everything was wrong in her marriage. Since after the hospital incident, Lekon has not said 2 words to her. They lived like strangers under the same roof. He was hardly ever around these days. He was always out, and he never spent time with her like before. When she confronted him, he finally admitted the truth. He was furious at her for killing their child, and he didn't think he can ever forgive her. And he had also met someone else. Someone who was willing to give him the family that he wanted. If you had said you didn't want children because of the fear of motherhood, maybe, just maybe, I would have understood better. Because it is valid. And we would have worked it out together. But you don't want children because you don't want anything to happen to your perfect body. Forgetting that we'll all get old, and this perfect body will no longer be perfect. By then, you might have lost all your opportunities and you will remain lonely, Lekon said to her and walked away. Idara was heartbroken and confused. She had never imagined that Lekon or any man would leave her for another woman. But deep down, she knew that she would never change who she was. She would not force herself to have a baby to make Lekon happy. She would do anything to keep her perfect body forever. So many men would give anything to be with her, so she thought. Few months later, Lekon informed her family and collected his bride price back. He married Funbi, and soon they had their first baby. Lekon was the happiest man alive. Finally, he was a father. He helped Fumbi grow in every way because he understood that there was more to being a woman than just childbearing. Idara couldn't help but feel a sense of sadness for what could have been. She lost a good man, but she wouldn't dare lose her body because she knew that it was her priceless possession. She was back at her father's house, hoping that other men would seek her out without the pressure of them wanting children. Will that perfect body last forever? Only time will tell. The very first time I heard a lady say she didn't want to have children, I was quite surprised because I also didn't think any woman would not want to experience the joy of motherhood. But over time, I also realized that it is valid if a woman decides not to have children. There can be so many factors that can influence it. It could range from past experiences, family history, and even medical reasons. But not wanting to have children because of your body shape like Idara is totally unreasonable in my opinion. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and comment, and also subscribe to us if you haven't. Oh yeah, now just click subscribe. Great. Thank you so much. See you in my next one. Bye.